This is the Padres Postcast, your instant game reaction for the San Diego Padres. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Padre fan? Welcome to your Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. A busy football Sunday and a busy football weekend. Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries, and another win for the Pods. They go to 3-1 on the series against the Rockies. They win the series, 3-1 with a, they jumped out on top big time early. 7 runs in the first 3 innings, 6 in the first 2. Yu Darvish, not the best start, but he holds on enough to get the win. At the end of the game, domination from the Pods. Gavin Sheets with a big ground rule double as the Rockies got close. Jackson Merrill, a 3-run homer early. It was 7-0, 7-1, right? And then the Rockies kept coming back. The Padres are not going to be sorry to see Moniak go. What a game he had, 4 for 4, 2 homers for the Rockies. And he ended up on deck at the end of the game with Suarez striking out the side in the ninth. But Miller, Suarez, an inning and a third and an inning, 3 strikeouts each, dominantly slamming the door shut as the Padres just obliterated the Rockies off the map this whole season. And they keep pace with the Dodgers. It's what it's been lately. Dodgers lose, you lose, Dodgers win, you win. But still, 2.5 games back in the West. You go in to play the Mets. You're ahead of them in the wild card, behind the Cubs. Mets chomping at the bit, but they haven't been playing all that well either. So big win today, huge. They held on. And for a moment there, it looked like they might not as things got a little tight at Petco Park. It's Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day, Jim Grieshaber. Call me. Gries, 3-1 series win, 9-6 the final. Today, Yu Darvish to win. Robert Suarez, his 38th save. Told you about Merrill's homer. Told you about Sheets' 2-run ground rule double. How about the 6, 7, 8 boys? Cronenworth, Iglesias, and Fermin, 6 hits, 4 RBIs at the bottom of the lineup. And then you go and you look at Fernando Tatis Jr. 3 hits, 3 runs scored. And I want to put this in the opening segment. And then we are about to get it popping right up in here with the postcast. But I want to say this about our guy, Fernando Tatis Jr. He reached 100 runs scored and 30 steals in a year today for the first time in his career. He also matched his career high with 148 hits. So 148 hits, the 30 steals, 100 runs scored, and yeah, he hasn't had the slashing numbers. He might get to 30 home runs this year, though. I mean, I doubt it at this point. He needs a bunch to get there, but he's over 20, and he still had an amazing year, even though without the slashing. But they got the win today, 9-6 the final. I'm here to break it down for you, the ups, the downs, the ins and outs, how the Padres got it done at Petco Park today. 3-1 series win, 2.5 back of the Dodgers. We'll give you the wild card race as well. Thank you for making us your first watch or listen every day. Myself, Javier Reyes, Locked On Padres Podcast. This is Padres Postcast. We're free on YouTube after the game. Then we upload, you download Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, and Roku. You download OTT. Yeah, you know me. Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries. Padres Postcast. Let's go.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Right? You didn't realize how great Fernando's been in that regard. I had to just say that. It sounds a little weird just to come out and say that, right? But man, you know, Edgar says didn't realize how good Fernando's been in that regard. He has. He does it quietly because you're looking at the things he hasn't done, and it's been a tough year, injuries, rough start, you know, all those things. Fernando started hot, not him. But by the time May came along in June, he really struggled. September, he had been really struggling. You know, August as well was a rough month. July was a decent month for him, as was April. March, he started out like a house of fire. But man, oh man, a win is a win is a win, right? Especially this time of year. And you look at a lot of games throughout the year that they could have won, and I get on Mike Schilt a lot. And the reason why is because every game that they lose and every game that they lost along the way that they could have, should have, would have won, you know what I'm saying? And now you're 2.5 games out. And how much does that Estrada home run that he gave up in LA matter now? Because that would be 1.5 games. You know what I'm saying? And then just move after move after move. So that's why we criticize, because we want the best. Everybody's doing the best they can. Everybody is literally grinding themselves into the ground to try to win this thing for the Padres. You know they are, right? Well, today was a good example of that. Jackson Merrill, a 3-run homer. Man, Mickey Moniak, 5 RBIs and a 4-for-4 performance, 2 homers today for him. Good to see him get out of town. The Padres in second place now in the wild card race. Of course, the Rockies 41-109. They stink. record in the majors. Moniak, by the way, kid from Carlsbad, La Costa Canyon High, #1 pick in the 2016 draft by Philadelphia, really coming into his own. Won't be in Colorado long, obviously, right? 7-0 Padres. Moniak hits a homer to lead off against Yu Darvish in the 4th. 2 runners get put on to start the 6th by Yu. Jeremiah Estrada came on, and Moniak a 3-run shot. So Moniak hits the solo shot off Darvish. He hits the 3-run shot off Estrada, and 2 of the runs are charged to Darvish. So now you know why Darvish gave up the 3 runs in 5 innings. With you, Darvish, it's been that way lately. He's been dominant. He's coming back into form just in time for the playoffs, and it's been like the 1 home run. And in this case, the 2nd homer where the 2 of the runs were charged to him. So Estrada likes to give up those long balls, man. Keep that in mind as we head down the stretch in toward the playoffs. Ezekiel Tovar, an RBI double, 2 outs in the 7th. Moniak singled him in, made it 7-6, and everything got tight, if you know what I'm saying, at Petco Park until Gavin Sheets ripped a ground rule double in the 8th. 2 runs come in from Gavin. Holy Sheets, man. And how about Merrill going oppo again? Opposite field off German Marquez, who's 3-14, gave the Padres a 6-0 lead with no outs in the 2nd. They took the 3-0 lead in the 1st. Everybody's getting on base. Cronenworth with a bunt single with the bases loaded. How about Jakey doing that? A 2-run single from Iglesias as well, who's been great. Iglesias in that inning. And, oh, man, just really crazy what the Padres did, right? They erupt early, hold on late. Miller and Suarez looked amazing late in the game, and Miller's just been maybe the best reliever in baseball right now. And you want to know how badly the Padres decimated the Rockies this season? 95 runs in 13 games against Colorado this year. And they're going to play the Marlins, which is, oh boy, anybody going to watch that? Like the tree in the forest, if it falls and no one sees it or hears it. Anyway, Michael Kjng, Diggy down with the King, 4-2, 2.87 ERA. 2nd start back after his 2nd stint on the IL. Looked real good last time out. He's expected to start Tuesday at the Mets. Come on out and beat the Mets. But we have to get into this right now and what the Padres are walking into in New York, country jungle where dreams are made of. But first, I want to tell you that the Padres, 9-6 in this game today, 3-1 in the series. They out-hit the Rockies 13-8. Each team committed an error. Darvish the win, he's 4-5, 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. Marquez the loss, 3-14, 2 1/3, 9 hits, 6 runs, no strikeouts, 2 walks. Suarez his 38th save. Morejon got roughed up out of the bullpen today. Suarez gave up Estrada gave up the homer. Morejon got roughed up as well. So that's, that's a concern. Thank God Moniak, look, they're looking at if they got a runner on base in the 9th, he'd have come up as the, potential tying run, right? If they had a couple guys on. So he was left in the on-deck circle as the game ended. But Fernando, 3 hits, 3 runs scored. Merrill, 2 hits, 2 runs scored, 3 RBIs. Big game for him. Sheets 1 for 4 with the 2-run ground rule double. Cronenworth 2 for 3 with the RBI and the run scored. Iglesias 2 for 4 with an RBI. Fermin 2 for 4 with an RBI. McCoy even got in on the act, 1 for 4 with 2 runs scored. As far as the pitchers go, I told you Darvish, 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs all earned, 5 strikeouts, no walks, 82 pitches. He's 4-5 with a 5.63. 2 starts in a row. He's looking better and better. Estrada pitches an inning, only allows the earned run, but gave up the 3-run shot, struck out 2. Morejon, 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. You see that there's levels to this, right? Estrada and Morejon are not at the same level as Suarez and then Miller. And Suarez is not at the same level as Miller. And they will miss at some point Jason Adam. Anyway, Miller goes an inning in the 3rd, strikes out 3. Perfect inning in the 3rd, by the way. ERA at 2.89. And Suarez at 3.06 after striking out the side. A total of 35 pitches, 6 strikeouts, 2 1/3 innings for Miller. And Suarez getting it done to slam that door late on the Rockies and secure the victory. A big one at this time, obviously, for your San Diego Padres. Look at Fernando letting them fly up there, and a nice job by him at the top of the lineup, obviously, and the Padres just getting it done today. Getting the dub. You had to get the dub. They figured out a way to do it. All right, real quick before we take the break, and still to come, by the way, we have the star of the game. We look ahead to that Mets series, looking at the wild card standings and where the Dodgers and where the Mets and where the Cubs and all those other teams, there's really no other teams that the Padres are competing with right now. But we'll break that down a smidge, and then we will get out of here. Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. When did they win this game?
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
I mean, it'd be easy to say, right? 6 innings, 6 runs in the first 2 innings, 1 in the third. It's 7-0, 7-1 after 4. But the Rockies coming back 3 into 6, 2 in the 7th. And all of a sudden, it is 7-6, right? Yeah. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to say Gavin Sheets in the bottom of the 8th with the 2-run ground rule double sealed the deal. But I want to go ahead a little bit deeper than that. Okay. So when obviously he hit that double, added those 2 insurance runs, and had he not hit that, the Padres still would have won the game. So what really is your turning point? What's really the turning point in this game? And for me, it's almost easy to tell you the turning point. And you can tell right away because the momentum had been going completely away from the Padres and everything's going in the direction of the Colorado Rockies. And what happens, right? What happens there? Because in the top of the 7th inning, it's a 7-6 game. You've already got Moniak on base. Tovar had scored, and you're only up 7-6. So the tying runs on base, the go-ahead runs coming to the plate. You're up 7-6. They had already scored. Now, mind you, had already scored 2 runs in that inning and 3 runs the inning before. And Krim coming up, who also had himself a real good series, right? Remember him, hit his first career home on his first hit in the opener of this series. Moniak steals second. Tying run is 90 feet away. Mason Miller in the game. Strikes out Krim looking. And there, my friend, is your turning point where the game was won. Suarez 1-2-3 in the 9th. All right, Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries. Padres Postcast, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Going to take a quick break, let you know about some deals and some incredible product services from the best companies in the world who love to get to you through us because you are the best fans in the world, and they want to give you stuff and deals and all sorts of things. And like I said, the player of the game, like I said, look ahead to the Mets and those standings, division and wild card. Padres Postcast, Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. 9-6 Padres beat the Rockies. Yay. And there you see it on the screen. And we are so proud to be sponsored by FanDuel right here on your Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Of course, the NFL season is here. It is upon us. And FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer right now. Hey, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Now, what does that mean? It means to use across the app. I love using FanDuel. However you like to bet. Player props, building a same-game parlay, even jumping in live as the action unfolds. It makes every game more exciting. Whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup, it's quick, easy, and the best way to add a little more energy to your Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, whatever else the NFL plays. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet with FanDuel on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And we are also presented by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app, where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right means cashing in, right? With football back, Prize Picks, the simplest and easiest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or pick less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes all in less than 60 seconds, which is how long it's supposed to take me to read this spot that's actually written more like a minute 30. But Prize Picks, quick, easy, honestly, my favorite way to follow along with football, right? So you know I love checking projections. Josh Allen, more or less, 270 passing yards. Saquon Barkley, more or less than a rushing touchdown. You get the idea. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 play with Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Is it not? I mean, I think it's amazing to be right. I'm right way more often than I'm wrong. I know you are too, right? We all are in our own minds. That's what makes the world go round, and so many other things too, as in, man, I wish I would have known about this sooner, although I'm feeling pretty good about the bald and sexy look. But you've probably seen a million ads, right, for hair growth products and thought, sure, Like that actually works. Right, man. I'm going to look like Grease if I use this stuff. There's so many products out there. It's almost hard to blame you, but it's hard to know which ones are actually going to do anything, which ones are going to work. That's why you should give Nutrafol a closer look. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, and it is trusted by over 1.5 million people. It's not just hype. This is a supplement clinically tested that targets the root causes of thinning and shedding with a proactive approach. Whether you're at work, whether you're out with friends, or even just getting ready in the morning, Nutrafol gives you more confidence in your daily routine. It's simple to add to your day. 4 pills with a meal, no prescription needed. Easy peasy, and you can feel good about it knowing Nutrafol is NSF certified and backed by peer-reviewed studies. See thicker, stronger hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol for a limited time. Nutrafol is offering Locked On MLB listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's Nutrafol, Nutrafol, Nutrafol.com, Nutrafol.com, product code LOCKEDONMLB on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Nine-six Pods, hold on, and beat the Rockies after jumping out to a 7-0 lead. Merrill, a 3-run homer. Gavin Sheets, a 2-run double. Fernando, 3 hits, 3 runs scored. He scored his 100th run today. He's got an unbelievable number here, first time in his career. And, we've been saying he's having a down year because he hasn't slashed the homers, right, in the slugging. But 100 runs and 30 steals in a year for the first time, reached it today. And also matched his career high of 148 hits. Doesn't have the big homer numbers, but has over 20. I mean, the average not over 300, but he's had a hell of a year for a guy who's struggling. I'm just saying, made the All-Star team. Hell of a year for a guy who's struggling. By the way, Manny took the day off today. So Manny with a big offensive series, getting back on track. And now the Pods go and play the Mets, right? So before I get into that, one more thing to do to wrap up today's game, and you know what it is.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Well, I'll tell you what, we have candidates today for the Padres Player of the Game. You have Miller, an inning in a third, striking out 3. Perfect inning in a third. Suarez, 1, 2, 3, strike out the side in the 9th. Miller and Suarez slamming the door. Gavin Sheets with the insurance with the 2-run double. Jackson Merrill, 2 hits, including a 3-run home run. Man, what a day for him. Those 6, 7, 8 guys, Cronenworth, Iglesias, and Fermin, 6 hits, 4 RBIs combined. But, man, I'm going Fernando. The straw that stirs the drink. He starts at the top. 3 hits, 3 runs scored. I just told you what he accomplished on the year. And nice job by Fernando Tatis Jr. Of course, Mickey Moniak was the best player in the game for the Rockies. Good to see him go. But the Padres on the road now to go and face the New York Mets. Come on out and beat the Mets is what the Padres have to do. Meet the Mets. Beat the Mets. Come on out and beat the Mets. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about here, because the Padres 2.5 games behind the Dodgers in the NL West. It's like every time they win, the Dodgers win. Every time they lose, the Dodgers lose. So you got the Mets for 3. And what is the importance of that right now? Well, the NL West you're 62, you're 82 and 68. My eyes are a little bit best days behind them. You're 82 and 68, right? Obviously, 2 and 8 is 10, 80 and 60. You got 12 games left. So 12 games left and you're down 2.5. Feasible, doable. We'll see. The Dodgers have 1 more game than you, BT Dubs. But when I look at the standings and I'm thinking about the playoffs now, maybe you don't win the division, but you want that first place in the wild card. And right now you're 3.5 games behind the Cubs. 3.5 games behind the Cubs, and you are 5 games ahead of the Mets, and you plan for 3 right now. So the Mets aren't going to catch you in this series. It's more mental warfare if you see them in the playoffs, obviously, or you know what I mean, if you don't get that first wild card spot. So it's going to be rough, obviously, on the Padres. If they don't move into that first wild card spot, you definitely don't want the 3rd spot. You want to pass the Dodgers, but you really want to catch the Cubs. So 2.5 behind the Dodgers, 3.5 behind the Cubs. They got to play balls out for these 12 games and take one of those spots. You have to take one of those spots if you want to make a deep postseason run. At least make it a little bit easier on yourself. And that's going to be tough when you're going into New York. But think about the Mets lately, right? The Mets, the New York, come on out and beat the Mets. I mean, they did just beat the Rangers. but they have not been winning anything lately. They got swept by the Phillies in a 4-game series. The Reds beat them up before that, and they finally got a win. 5-2 in 10 innings. And go figure, right? 5-2 in 10 innings today. A 10th inning home run from Alonso. They get a walk-off the day before. And then I know that the Padres don't play till Tuesday in New York, but they've really been struggling. I'm talking about losing like 8 out of 9. And then they get a walk-off homer the day before the Padres come in to give them all the momentum that they need for a huge series. So not going to be easy by any stretch going in there. And you have got Michael Kjng, the right guy, pitching the opener against Clay Holmes on Tuesday night. We'll be here. It's a 4:10 Pacific first pitch, so we'll be here around 6:37 with the postcast. Same thing the next night when Pavetta's on the mound, so you go Kjng and Pavetta back-to-back in the first couple of games and maybe just pound the Mets out, and then go Vasquez, who was great in his last start in Game 3. So, yeah, maybe you just go Kjng and Pavetta and hope they do what they do. Those are your two best pitchers. Pavetta's been the guy all year. King's your ace. So Kjng opens it up, Pavetta in Game 2, and you just got to bury the Mets right now. Meanwhile, the Dodgers, when you're talking about them, and, you know, we'll get into the Dodgers and the Cubs a little bit as these shows continue to go on. So the Dodgers right now, they actually they won 10-2 against the Giants today. They host the Phillies Monday through Wednesday, and then the Dodgers after that. So tough one for the Giants after that. So tough one for the Dodgers with the Phillies. And then when you're looking at the Cubbies right now, hey, sure, tomorrow they won today as well, beat the Rays, and they're going to Pittsburgh to play the Pirates and then Cincy to play the Reds. So, I don't know about first place in the division or the wild card, Padre fans, but you just got to keep it going. Now you know why I get upset over little moves, little games. You lose one here, you lose one there, because you can't afford to lose any in a 162-game season. Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries. Thank you so much for being here. Padres Postcast, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. YouTube after the game. Then after the show, we upload, you download. Spotify, iHeart, Apple, Stitcher, Podbean, and Roku. Of course, Javier Reyes day to day with your Locked On Padres podcast. And then it's Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game all season long till we crown a World Series champion. Local analysis on a national scale from your Locked On MLB Game Night. Locked On MLB YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. 9-6 the final. 3-1 they win the series. Padres over the Rockies at Petco. Yu Darvish the win. Robert Suarez the save. Big game for Fernando, Merrill, Gavin Sheets coming through. All kinds of lumber being laid by the Padres on the Rockies as they've done all season. See you Tuesday for the Mets. Let's go Pods. It's been Padres Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day until Tuesday night. Thank you so much for being here. And as always, keep your game tight and your mind right, baby. I am Jim Gries, and I am out.